Srinivasa, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I'm reading from Shri Venkatāchala Itihasamala by Shri Tirumala Anantacharya, 11th, 12th centuries AD, and Shri Venkatāchala Mahātmyam. References are taken from Puranas authored by Bhagwan Shri Vedavyasa. Throughout times, God has taken countless names and forms to reassure that He is and always will be there for all of us unconditionally. Some of these forms are living and breathing, while others are silent and stone-like. And among all these silent forms, none is more popular in this day and age than Sri Venkateshwara, the majestic Lord who resides on the sacred seven hills in India. Temples to Lord Venkateshwara can be found not only here in India but throughout the world. No one can really say for sure when the Supreme Being first stood on the seven hills for the sake of all of us. But what we do know is that about 1,000 years ago, people somehow forgot who he was, and a great debate took place about who this image form was and what his purpose was. It was at this tumultuous moment in history when the great religious teacher and social reformer Bhagavat Ramanujacharya came to the seven hills. He observed the pains of the people in trying out the purpose of the majestic form and decided to put an end to the people's doubts. Using ancient scriptures as evidence, Bhagavat Ramanujacharya presented a clear and lucid set of points of how the Supreme Being himself had taken this unique form as a temple image for the purpose of redeeming us from our sorrows by reassuring us of his presence. All these points were put together in a work called Sri Venkateshwara Itihasamala, a garland of verses about Sri Venkateshwara's history. The story of Venkateshwara starts with how the one Supreme Being residing in his mysterious abode called Vaikuntham was unable to bear the suffering of his children on earth. He immediately decided to descend to earth in a form that would reassure the world that he loves and cares for all of us. He chose a beautiful location to present himself at the top of a scenic set of mountains. He then took the beautiful form that we now see in temples throughout the world. The Lord presented himself with 4 hands to show that even though he stands in one place, his power pervades everywhere. In his upper right hand, he held the discus, chakra, to show that it is his presence that makes everything move. In his upper left hand, he held a conch shell, Shankha, to show that he is the creator of all that we know and do not know. His lower right hand is pointed to his feet, so that we would know that we can leave all our fears and worries to him to take care of. His lower left hand is pointed towards his thigh to let us know that this ocean of samsara becomes knee-deep if we surrender at his lotus feet. But the Lord's fondness for the mortals was so much that he was willing to even give away his divine weapons, which never stay away from him, to a devotee of his to serve his purpose. Once he gave his own Shankha and Chakra to his devotee, a king named Tondaman Chakravarti, so that he would be able to defeat his rival's army that had come to destroy his kingdom. Over the time, people began to forget who this handsome being with 4 empty hands was. So lots of discussions and debates took place. It was then that the great spiritual leader Sri Bhagavat Ramanujacharya arrived on the scene. By describing the meaning of the Lord's form as described above, he proved without doubt that Sri Venkateshwara was the most beautiful special avatar of the Supreme Being, Sriman Narayana, who had come to earth for the benefit of his creation. This form, according to Bhagavat Sri Ramanujacharya, had even more special qualities that showed his greatness and his willingness to be there for all of us. The Lord has mated hair, like a Muni or Rishi. This is to show us how it is his contemplation that creates and preserves the world. The Lord has numerous decorations that have snake images on them. This is to show that he is served in numerous ways by Adishesha, the primordial multi-headed serpent on which he rests. The Puranas state that Kumaraswamy, which is Murugan, Skanda, worshipped Lord Venkateshwara here to get rid of the grave sin of killing Tarakasura in a terrific battle. Kumaraswamy would bathe here 3 times a day and meditate on Lord Srinivasa on his father's advice. Skanda's father is Lord Shiva. So the tank is called Swami Pushkarini because it is the best of all holy tanks. Simply dipping in it removes all our pains and sorrows. Despite these clear arguments, there were still some who were reluctant to accept that the Lord standing on the 7 hills was indeed the Supreme One in form. So, Sri Bhagavat Ramanujacharya set up an experiment. He arranged to have the weapons of various divinities, including Sriman Narayana, placed in the sanctum at the feet of the Lord. He then locked the sanctum doors, gave the key to an objective observer, and asked the doubters to wait till morning. At sunrise, the doors to the temple were unlocked and the temple was opened. To everyone's surprise, the Lord appeared in all his grandeur, holding the Shankha and Chakra, the same ones that the devotees see to this day. As these symbols belong only to the Supreme Being, all were now convinced that the Lord indeed had come to earth in this divine form. Hare Srinivasa.